diary, today was a great day. I bought myself a brand new horse. She's strong and fast and so very beautiful.
Kind of wanted to let that little intro song play just a little bit long. It's
Do we really want the letters at this point?
I don't know if I want the letters or not, but if you guys get a chance, look up Stephen Lynch, Dear Diary. That was a little bit of a song dedicated to Christopher Reeve there. So
letter you get from them. So
no, I don't think so. That would be pretty bad. The voice you hear to me is someone new. I'm going to let Jason kick off intros. But of course, we wanted to offend everyone by being late, playing a bad song, and making sure that you guys were all ready to kill us by the time we got on air.
Well, and on that note, it is 11. It is actually 7:11 in Djibouti, which means it's time for Vagabond Nerds. We've got.
Did you just do a really bad joke? Like that's on a what was that?
I do the intros. You sit there and you shut up.
My God, that was horrible. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
So the sack of meat over here is Raymond. I'm Jason. The new sack of meat is Sean Walker. He is a good friend of the show. Great guy, more or less, and a musician of some note. And of course,
he's a good magician of note.
Magician.
Magician?
Is that I've also graduated to magician now.
Yes,
this
you
is
have.
fantastic.
I'm
learning new stuff about me every day.
What gets pulled out of you.
Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
That's
Jeez,
great.
and this is him without alcohol. And of course, as
What are
always,
you talking about me? Or you
That's
talking
what you
about him?
think.
Oh, Raymond.
Oh,
I got
Yeah,
you.
no, I know it's too early for you to be drinking. Him on the other
Are
hand.
you kidding? Aren't you part Irish?
Early. What's early?
Yeah, see? There
It's
you
5
go.
o'clock somewhere. And I wish it was 5 o'clock.
Two bad
right
time
here.
jokes in one
yeah,
show
that was
intro.
quick.
That's not
That was
bad.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, as always, we have the beholder of the power cosmic, Ziggy.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, look at
yeah.
that. Look at
Yeah.
Nicely
nice
played.
drop. Well
Nicely
done.
played.
Well, we apologize for being late this morning. It
Screw
was,
you. No, I don't.
No, I don't apologize.
He's not
I
gonna
don't
apologize.
apologize at all. As a matter of fact, Raymond, the next time you draw somebody directions, make sure you've actually oriented yourself properly to the studio so that they're not completely flipped and reversed.
It is.
So that when you get here,
It
you
is
go,
a rite of
"I'm
passage
supposed to
for
take a
everyone who
left,
takes
but
a
everything's on
spot
the
behind
right."
this mic to get lost on the first episode that you appear
Well,
on.
then,
Congratulations.
Where's my badge?
Oh, we got your badge. All right, buddy. You're the magician. Make it appear.
That's right. Nice to be here with you two meatbags.
You know, this is going to be a show, I can tell you. We're all looking at show notes right now. We're getting prepped. I don't really think this is going to go the way we wanted it to go. So we're going to
I
try
think
to
it's
hit
going to go
this.
exactly the way I'm envisioning right now.
Hold on a minute while I pull that out of my ass.
Also, magician. So, do we want to start? Do we want to talk about the bad? Well, I guess we already did talk about the bad driving instructions that I've.
Yeah. No, we're.
Yeah,
I think
we're
we're fine. I
covered.
think we could
I
probably
think we're good.
move
Can we go?
on now,
Can we go into news?
Absolutely.
Do we go into news?
Absolutely. And
News.
really, as far as news this for the last 2 weeks have gone, mostly it's about directors, right? Some directors are being confirmed. Some are switching out. Some are getting fired. Some are apparently disappearing or
Some
whatever.
are rumored.
Rumors,
That's
right. Some are rumoring. Lots of rumors. So here's the deal. Suicide Squad is now Gavin O'Connor. I think that's the confirmation on that one.
Mm-hmm.
He did The Accountant and Warrior.
Did you guys get to see The Accountant?
You know what? I haven't.
I have not. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, really good flick. Took a script with a person about not quite Asperger's, but close to that.
He's on the spectrum.
He's on the spectrum. That's right, exactly right. He's on the spectrum.
Gotcha.
And just made him an assassin, which was genius, and it's just a really cool movie to see. But I'm interested to see what he would do with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely.
That would absolutely be something good.
So you have something a little bit more cerebral, maybe, or rather a complete story. That would be
A cerebral,
Cerebral.
Suicide Squad movie.
Oh,
All right.
yeah,
but
no.
of interesting note, no, that just means now that we've got a possible director or the director already associated with Ben Affleck in a previous
Right.
thing.
That's right.
And now we have him here for
That's
this, where we may or may not see Batman.
I would have. You know, if I'm going into a second one, I don't. You kind of need him in the first one.
You don't feel like he's going to be
I don't
prevalent
think,
for this
I
one?
don't think. Why would you need
Or
him?
relevant for this one, I should say.
I don't think you would need him.
That's, yeah.
You can.
I think you would.
I mean, he
be
is.
nice. I think,
He is the Tony Stark of DC at this point.
Yeah, he really is.
You know,
Absolutely. That's a
Nice.
good metaphor.
Good
I like
comparison.
That.
Yeah.
So
well done.
we'll be dropping
Check
him
out the
and-
big brain on Brad. Yeah.
How did I not get that drop?
I don't know.
All right.
Actually, before we get too far, the idea of the hero being someone on the spectrum. If y'all haven't seen it, All to Noah Zero. It's on Netflix. It's an anime. It's pretty standard mecha stuff, but the hero they never say it.
So watching all the colors go by, it puts you on the spectrum, and that's what makes it.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks.
No, the hero they never come out and say it, but he's clearly has some form of autism. Like what we used to call Asperger's. He's highly competent, low in the emotion, but it was just really interesting that you have this hero who's on sort of that spectrum saying, "Hey, there is this other concept out here."
So let
It was
me
really good.
So just so I'm clear, it's an anime that has a character who's a main hero protagonist, and he's kind of low on the emotional scale, and he doesn't really have any.
I know that anime.
Isn't that
All of them.
Don't
With
get
giant
me wrong.
robots?
I
What?
love
Yeah.
every. I mean, it's on my queue in Netflix to watch that one, but I just find it funny. That you're like, okay, it's this really revolutionary thing where there's this character in an anime who's, kind of really like his emotions are kept quiet and he's almost,
Well,
it's like,
hold
dude,
on.
that's
There's a difference
everyone.
between emotions being kept quiet. Because let's face it, in every anime, you have someone ordering hot chocolate by screaming, "It's I want hot chocolate!"
Where did
And
that come
that's
from?
every
I have no idea.
anime.
I've never
Every
watched
anime.
that in
No,
any.
those
anime.
are-
no one has ever asked for hot
Those,
chocolate.
those
in
are
one that I've seen.
actually they probably have, but those are more or less the sillier ones.
Right, but this one's it's very smart. But again, the character clearly has Asperger's. I mean, it's
Okay.
like I said, it was a really interesting take on this character and why he does what he does.
Okay, so the only problem with that statement though is he's not directing Suicide Squad 2.
While we're on the topic of Asperger's,
Yes,
this is actually, I'm being serious.
Okay.
There is a show on Netflix. It's Netflix produced called Atypical. It is
Yes.
outside
Yes.
the
Yes.
realm of things, but if anybody has not seen it yet, go watch it. It's funny, it's smart, and it's really, really heartwarming. What's John Hughes?
John Hughes.
Yeah.
I would think it's kind of in that same vein. It makes you feel that way when you watch it. I like that. Go check it out.
and while we're talking about shows with characters on the spectrum, Good Doctor, I think that's ABC that's coming out. Has anyone seen that? Okay,
No.
All right, we'll move back to directors then.
Let's go back to directors.
Okay, Drew Goddard, Daredevil season 1 is now in talks for X-Force. I think it's been confirmed.
I think
it's confirmed.
Yeah, I think he's confirmed.
Others a little.
And,
I like the image.
yeah, that image, man. That's for
Oh,
us
man, that's
geeks because
good.
you're not going to
Yeah.
find anything right now that's
That
not pieced together online.
if I had a doll, I'd have to show everybody where that touched me right now, because
I
that
hope
brings
it was
back some
here.
memories. That's what I'm.
Okay, thanks. I just want to make sure.
Way to take it to a dirty place.
I didn't take that. I said
Really,
here.
really, Sean.
Here, this is your heart.
Yeah, I know.
It's inside you. It feels good. Okay, so
I'll let that go.
So yeah, executive producer and showrunner for Daredevil season 1. I think we've got some good stuff with that. He's also, I think, if memory serves me correctly, he's written a ton of stuff all the way going back to Buffy and Angel to most recently. I think it was Ziggy. You may want to correct me on this if I'm wrong, but also The Martian. Wrote The Martian.
Like, did he handle the trans?
He wrote the script.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so yeah,
A screenplay. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
screenplay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
right, because it's based on a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ziggy, let's see if we can find that.
No, screw that. I don't want to confirm it.
Never mind.
You know what is confirmed?
What?
Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman 2.
Was there ever any doubt about that? Like, I just sort of assumed when it started putting gold and cocaine money that someone backed a giant truck full of cash up to Patty Jenkins.
Is it cocaine money white?
Not when you're making this kind of cash.
He's whiter than I am. Ask him.
Again.
Oh my
not-
gosh, I'm a minority in the studio right now.
Yes.
You could take the. Never mind.
So Drew Goddard was a writer on Cabin in the Woods. He also wrote The Martian. He is
That was good.
he is fingered to write Deadpool 2 and X-Force right now.
Yeah,
Really?
there you go.
And
There you go.
and a movie that he is also going to be directing called Bad Times at the El Royale.
Why does that sound very?
That sounds like fun, really.
Yeah. I was gonna go for a joke there.
It
and I let
sounded
it go.
Robert Rodriguez-ish.
Thank you. Oh my God, that
There
is
he
scary.
goes, yeah.
That's
That's
what I was
exact.
looking
That's.
for.
I mean, yeah, come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it sounds like a grindhouse flick,
It does sound like a grindhouse
which
flick.
is extremely entertaining.
Which, if
you
you've
know,
seen
done
Cabin,
right.
if you've seen Cabin in the Woods,
That was good.
Yes.
I really liked
absolutely kind of fits that
that.
motif.
Joss Whedon was part of that as well.
Also
Yeah,
wrote
co-producer.
Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Cloverfield.
he
Really?
Did he do
That's right.
Cloverfield?
Yeah, he wrote
Nice.
Cloverfield and executive produced 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I think we can say X-Force is
Okay.
in good hands then, right?
Yeah, then I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
She
okay
got
with
some
that.
seriousness to
And
it,
the,
actually.
I think
Be
the
good.
other thing is you've got X-Force being led by Deadpool and Cable, so they're both confirmed for the. For
Oh,
that
that
one.
would be awesome. Okay.
We'll see it. Everyone looks to be in. All right, so we
just don't
stated
think
the
they
obvious with Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, it's obvious with Wonder Woman 2, but can we back up to X-Force for a second? Do you think they're going to get Cannonball right?
As
Like
we're
he-
showing a picture of Wonder Woman right now, we're gonna
Yeah, I
ask
want
for.
to tell you about Cannonball.
You know, that is exactly how we run a slick show. Okay, so Cannonball. No, I do not think they're going to get it right.
Okay, never mind. Moving on.
There we go.
So yeah, Patty Jenkins, like I said,
Patty Jenkins confirmed for Wonder Woman 2.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, she may get once Wonder Woman became like the greatest DC movie to have ever been made, and we all fell in love with Gal Gadot.
Are we including The Dark Knight?
Yes. No, we're not.
Okay.
But for the new DCEU.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is clearly the highest grossing one that they've got. It made golden cocaine money. So I just assumed Patty Jenkins was signed to a contract.
You're going to try to
and
make
a
that
desk.
joke work any which way you can.
I'm
aren't
going
you?
to. In fact, I'm going to say golden cocaine money like every time now.
Oh, good God.
Anyway, so yes, that was sort of the anyone
Sean,
who's
you looking for a
surprised-
show to be on? I may
We'll
have a
see.
replacement with that.
We'll see.
I'm just saying, anyone who thought that Patty Jenkins wasn't coming back for number 2
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she's going to get golden cocaine money for it as well.
Oh, Gal Gadot?
No.
Get out.
Well, both of them, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Jenkins and her. Confirmed. Oh, my gosh. We're going to get a new Terminator movie with Tim Miller, director of Deadpool. Speaking of Deadpool.
Do we need another one?
No, we don't.
See, here's my problem, right?
You mean besides the obvious?
Back off. The last one wasn't bad, but the problem is it just seems like it's like you're
No,
going
the
this
last
way.
one.
Actually-
The last one wasn't bad at all. It was
good.
It was
good.
enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was you could watch it and still feel satisfied and like
Right.
you had a good time.
Once
it
again,
was
tied a lot
entertaining.
together. Yeah, it
And
tied
whoever-
everything together and made a good and left you taking you to a completely different
The
direction.
biggest problem with that movie,
Was the trailer?
yes,
Fire that marketing guy if
that
he
was
wasn't already
it.
fired.
Whoever decided to drop the bomb in the previews of hey, he's an actual Terminator now. Oh, just bravo!
Yeah.
Like
Just-
way to ruin everything.
Here's your sign.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Never again.
Point being, though, is that movie would have been a great twist when it happened because you could tell the
That's
movie
the
was
reveal.
the
Yeah.
movie was setting it up for this
Yeah,
twist.
it was.
And the idiot who was like, you know what we should do for the trailer? We should find a way to screw this up somehow.
Yeah.
And it's
That just tells me that they were worried about its actual acumen. They didn't think it was going to hold its own once it got to the box
Yeah.
office, so they thought, all right, we're getting closer and closer to the time. Let's go ahead and drop this now.
Yeah.
That way everybody's going to be, oh my goodness, the plebs will be enthralled and they'll come see it.
Yeah.
you've got a movie like that, you've already got a built-in audience. Terminator 6 makes money no matter what.
Not just an audience,
Yeah.
I mean a following.
A following.
Yeah.
You got Cameron.
You've got core people who are going to come see this film regardless of whether or not it's going to be good. They want to find out if it's going to be good.
Yeah, and Cameron's coming back to produce and to
but-
have his baby back. But
That's
Cameron,
exciting.
Tim
Cameron's
Miller.
also, sticking his foot in his mouth with, bashing Wonder Woman and
Yeah.
everything
That's
else.
not helping.
But so what were you gonna say? Miller, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
he did a great job with Deadpool.
get out,
I'm still tied into Drew Goddard at the moment.
begone, Satan.
That seems a little harsh.
I know it does. Go ahead.
Anyway, I just don't know that he's. I'm not saying he's not right. I have my doubts. I just don't. I think. He's,
Why do you have your doubts on that?
What are your trepidations?
Ooh, look, big words.
I like that. Well played. Hold on.
Hey, you wanted to add a little bit of, goodness
Well,
to the
don't
show.
say
Here
more
I am.
color to it because
No,
I'm the only
definitely not.
one in
No,
the
definitely
show
not
with
more,
color.
No, not more color, unless you want red and beet faced after a few drinks. We'll see if that happens. But
We're gonna drink on the show one day.
You're paying for the damages. I don't know.
I already parked my car at 225. You think I'm gonna worry about paying for the damages of drinking?
well, when you're rich, you don't have to worry about those.
I
things.
wish I was.
You know what? We'll move on. I don't.
Okay, good.
I just. I
Your
don't know.
trepidations are now gone.
Yeah, my trepidations are now gone.
That's what happens when you drink.
Exactly. Matthew Vaughn of Kingsman Numero Uno and Dos. is now doing Superman 2. Man
Well,
of Steel 2. I'm sorry.
Well, it's strong rumored, right? And the reason we call it a strong rumor is because he's actually talking about it. He's saying that he's had talks with the DC brass, Warner Brother brass, about going on there. I would love to see it, right? I mean, Kingsman 2 opens, next Friday already?
9/22, it's on your notes.
9/22. So it's called trying to be smooth about that. Thanks for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
God, I hate you.
Nothing about this has been smooth as it gets.
Just not since you started driving in, bud.
Embrace the K.
Okay.
Yeah, we have no one to blame but you for that, do we?
Yeah, but I'm okay with it. I was here on time.
So am I. I'm okay with it too.
All right. I got nothing. I mean, I think that's a good call, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after seeing the action in Kingsman.
The Kingsman was good.
Yeah.
I think that could be extremely entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with that one. Last but not least, and the most biggest one talked about for the past few days, past week, episode 9. So, original director, Colin whatever.
Yep. Trevorrow.
Sure.
Well, look at the call. Look at the script.
I'm trying not to. I want to be professional.
You're so stupid. So anyway,
Professional magician.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I want to make it disappear. All right. Anyway, rumor is, officially creative differences.
Okay.
Rumor being, no, they got tired of him, fired him, said he was getting kind of prima donna.
A little pompous.
A little pompous, to say the least, is what everyone's saying.
Was that what I was hearing? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. So, but I think good replacement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
J.J. Abrams coming back. I'm pretty stoked.
I got nothing against that.
I have no problem.
I love
with
him.
that. Yeah.
Force
that's
Awakens.
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea as long as they leave out a Death Star, which rumor has it we'll have a version of some type of Death Star, maybe.
Look, it's the Empire. They're not giving up. They're gonna keep trying. It just makes sense. Whether or not you are comfortable with that, they are still going to try to build one. That's their ultimate. I think that's still the part of the ultimate goal of domination.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, the Wunderwaffen. I mean, that's what Hitler was all about. That's what the Empire is, just space Nazis.
And you know, as an empire, they have a narrow vision, just to rule. That's it. They're locked within a set of standards within a certain regime. They're going to stick to that as best they can. There's no room for ideas or brainstorming or making anything better. You're locked into something. So if they focused on this is what they're going for.
I would ask if the audience would start getting tired of that, but let's face it. I mean, that's the biggest audience.
Yeah.
And even if they do get tired of it, once again, they're still going to go see it.
Yeah, they're still going to go see it. That's right.
That's just my rationale for if they include one. I would be super happy if they didn't. Death Star.
I'd agree with it either way.
Okay.
It's not going to stop. Look, at the end of the day, it's not stopping anyone from going out to see that
No, of
movie
course
opening
not.
day.
No, of course not. No.
And like everything, because my daughter's now into this stuff. I'll be there opening day going, sweetie, we can wait 1 week.
I just realized you're not wearing a baseball cap.
I'm not wearing a cap right now.
I know. It takes away from his personality, doesn't it?
What, the baseball cap?
Yeah.
That's not where my personality lies.
Really?
It's in my shoes. Were you expecting the baseball cap on this episode?
No, it's just a realization I had all of a sudden.
Okay.
I've seen the last ones, and you're wearing the baseball cap, and here we are.
Left it on the way out.
I can't help but
I did actually have one.
I can't help but think it was just so I could see your beautiful visage.
Love it. You want to go to the next one?
Wow.
Go to the
Not
next
after that. I just feel a little left out.
Don't get jealous.
You know what? I'll be jealous if I want to. Actually, real quick, because I know you said you didn't see it, but Death Note.
Yes.
It came out like a week ago on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen it. I've seen it.
You got notes on this?
Trying to be professional here, man.
I do love their
The image?
It was
Oh.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It was good. It was very good.
You mean to tell me that you're not griping about the fact that they whitewashed this thing?
Okay.
Someone was going to bring it up. I might as well.
Okay, let's start with
you-
that topic. 'Cause it's sort
I'll
of,
tell you what.
It's reversed. It's separate from Death Note.
I don't want
itself.
to. I really don't want it. I don't care about it. First,
I know
off.
you don't.
I don't. I mean, whenever someone goes,
Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I want to see it, if for no other reason, just to piss off everyone who's got a problem with this damn thing. That's why I want to watch it.
Okay.
And I want to sit there, and even if I don't like it, I'm going to start getting online talking about how much this movie should be nominated for whatever awards are out there for Netflix, and just get under everyone's skin.
Yeah, because the reception from the critics was mild at best. I mean, it was not, But why expect anything other than that? It's a movie based on a manga series, which was also then turned into an anime, and basically this one I think was a little more closely resembling the anime than the manga itself.
Well, and really, I think that the way to think of this is it's a reinterpretation of the concept and the characters.
That's exactly right.
In which, from what I understand, the creator of it was okay with.
Creators, yes, they're
Yeah, the
both.
creator,
They
sorry.
were both. They were very excited once they saw it. They said, "This is fantastic. We love it. We think it's a great reimagining of what
Yeah.
we initially came up with in the manga." We said it was. They said it was great, and I just think, as far as critics go, this is why you don't listen to critics. I mean, you can get a general basis,
Like
get
brown eyes.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got one.
get a general basic opinion, sure, but don't let that influence your decision to see it or not see it, and then go into it fresh. And I mean, I think I liked the changes. I
Yeah,
liked the reimagining.
absolutely.
A lot of people were complaining about the fact that there was not a heroine, but they had a woman involved with Light, the main anti-hero protagonist, if you will. I don't want to give too much away. And they were complaining about that because they said, well, that's not in the book or that's not in the anime. And it's like, dude, it's different. Just let it be different,
Yeah. What I would say is, I think a lot of this, it comes back to something Ray actually said on our first show when he said, "I don't care about your Batman."
That's right.
I think a lot of the argument against this, and a lot of the people who are really coming down on it, are really just arguments like, "Well, that's not my Death Note."
I don't care about your Death Note.
Exactly. Let this be what it is.
Right.
Appreciate it for what
Right.
it is. I mean, as far as now, there is only one argument that I think stands up as far as why you could say, okay, this wasn't as well adapted. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. But visually, this thing is stunning. Hold on, this movie is absolutely brilliantly the
Spit it out.
Cinematography. Was
Cinematography.
really
There we
well,
go.
It was well executed. Whoever actually took the camera angles are great. Whoever decided to set up the shots,
the color
was great.
schemes,
They did a
yes.
very good job framing everything. Everything was well placed. It really. I agree with you. I think it was very well done.
in Ryuk for the first time. And I mean, you've
Oh, I
seen
love
the
this,
yeah,
yeah.
you've seen the anime. Well, I've seen the anime. I'll be honest, you're a bigger fan of the anime than I am.
No, dude, I watched it one time through.
Yeah.
But in watching it one time through, I was hooked on the whole concept after probably
Right.
the second or third episode.
Yeah.
And then that whole first season was astounding. I
Oh, it
mean,
was.
the concept. The concept itself is fascinating because it brings up a ton of questions of morality and
Yeah.
a ton of questions of right and wrong, and it actually blurs all those lines because it's the classic conundrum, right? If you can go back in time and kill anybody you want, do you go back and kill Hitler? But there's no time involved. It's just like if you can kill anybody you want, who do you kill?
Right.
Which that right there, you're already going. Well, you're talking about killing people. Like that's a serious decision. That's a serious thing. And I mean, it touches so many great things.
Always made after breakfast.
Yep.
Well, then I'm screwed because I haven't eaten breakfast, so I can't
Okay.
decide.
You can't make a
I can't
decision
make
on
that
this, man.
decision.
But you're right. I think Wisecrack basically said. I think he said the best is it doesn't talk about philosophy. It is philosophy. It does the philosophy in the juxtaposition of the characters. But my problem was I could never get past Ryuk in the anime. Like he just seems so silly as an overall character design. But this movie makes him genuinely terrifying. Like he is legitimately an ominous threat
Force of nature.
Yeah.
in this.
No,
yeah.
I see what you're saying. I think it's a difference in culture.
Yeah.
If you're in the Japanese realm, if you understand that culture, if you're part of that culture, if that's your heritage, a death god is going to be something you're familiar with.
Right. I
So
get
so
it.
in the anime or even in the manga, they didn't have to set him up as anything terrifying because for them it's something they've lived with their entire life, and he doesn't
Right.
have to be terrifying. He just has to be an entity, and he does what he does. He's a death god.
He
People
just
live.
is.
Yeah.
People live. People die.
Well, he is
but
very
for-
much based on
right,
the masks,
right. But
right?
for the American audience, you do have to set up that terror to say this guy could possibly end your life because we are as Americans generally afraid of death. A lot of us are, and that's just kind of our culture. So I think that's the cultural difference. But you're right. They did a great job of that.
And Willem
He
Dafoe,
was terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, what was perfect for that role.
His introduction alone to the character, I loved the first scene where
Mm-hmm.
Light meets Ryuk. He He destroys the entire detention classroom that he is sitting in for what he's done. And then he just goes, all right, I'll talk to you later. And he leaves. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's all in Light's head. It's just not real. But when he disappears, Light looks around and everything is destroyed. The entire room is wrecked. And you're like, dude, you're already in detention.
Yeah. How do you explain
How
this?
are you going to explain any of this? Because the teacher left. She's like, I'll be back in a minute. And she walks out. Ryuk comes in,
It destroys
ruins everything
everything.
and says, hey, that book's going to kill people, and I'll talk to you later.
Well,
and he's gone. And
the
he's
kill-
left there on the floor looking around
Yeah.
like, did that just happen? It's like, it's in complete disarray. I loved his exit. I loved
his introduction.
I love the whole thing.
Well, I
It
love
was
the fact that
fantastic.
even because the first kill is that scene as well, and he's like, "But I don't have a pen." And he pulls out a pen.
Yeah,
He's like, "Click,
Here you go.
Here you go."
Oh, the fact that it was a clicky pen, that's
Yeah.
just a neat little.
Yeah.
So whoever made the choice to go, oh, let's have him do this. It was.
Yeah, it's
that
not
was
some elegant pen. It's just a
good.
cheap,
just a
little
stupid
bic.
little,
Yeah.
stupid little fun thing to see.
The discussion you guys are getting into with this movie, this is what bothers me. Not because you guys are talking about, but because I know this is not what everyone that's watching this movie is doing.
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
They're not looking at that at all. All they're sitting there and focused on is casting, and it's not my Death Note.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does
And
it follow? Yeah. Does it follow the original? And why aren't there more Asians in this film?
Well,
That's what. That's
I
what
think
they're.
the-
That's what they're upset about.
exactly. I think there's a great homage to that in the fact that the first official Kira killings occur all around the world, but they talk about everything's in Japanese. And the first time we meet L, he's in Japan.
Right.
And
They-
everything's in
they,
Japanese.
They ground it.
Yeah.
They do give a good grounding. They bring it back to that. And I thought that was brilliantly done. I was glad they did that because had they not, I really do think it would have lacked that reality. It made it feel more real when they actually put you in another country and
Yeah.
you go, oh wow, this really is worldwide. This really is a big deal. It's like any 007 movie you see. You don't believe he's actually world hopping until you see him in another country, and you're like, oh man, he is.
Yeah, and it's objectively another country. It isn't just the
It
back lot.
physically was. in
All I'm
another
thinking is break into the Connery.
country. Oh no. No,
okay,
no,
no.
no.
Okay.
The other complaint that a lot of people have is they said that not L, but Light isn't the. I think I'm going to use this to spin into my one observation that I think is legitimate about the film.
You mean the one you've been teasing for like
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes now?
3.5, back off. Is when Light is introduced to Ryuk, right? He screams like a little girl and just runs out of the room and tries to run out of the room. And I have a lot of people are like, Light is this heroic character, and it is like, but here's the truth. I don't care who you are. If an 8-foot tall shark-looking ghost demon thing manifests,
The spike backpack.
yeah, and tears up the room, you're gonna scream like a little girl, wet your pants, and try to escape.
Yeah, he hides under the desk
Exactly.
and cowers in fear and shakes. It was brilliant.
It's
Yeah,
like
it was good.
that's exactly how he would react in a real world scenario. So a lot of people have complained that it takes away. Again, it's that's not my Death Note. The one thing.
Wait
I know
a
the
minute.
voice.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
the
Where-
voice.
What voice were you going for? That's not my Death Note. Oh my God, guys! I know there's a lot of different places I could go with this.
Take it wherever you'd like. No, Batman: Brave and the Bold, season 1.
They had Death Note.
no, they had Batmite, and in the Batmite episode,
Okay.
there's a
All
scene.
right, don't. We're focus.
Okay, so
I'm focusing. Anyway, the one complaint, like I said, it's just the recharacterization, but the one complaint that I think is legitimate is that going back to the concept of the original manga and anime doing philosophy well, right? The moral quandary that they really set up was, what is the nature of justice? You have Light, you have L, then you have this third. I always forget the name of the character. He's not it's not the father, but it's part of the father's task force. And in it, you have Light saying that he's justice because he's killing all these bad guys, which affects other people. You have L saying, but you have too much power. You don't have the right. You alone don't get to decide who lives and dies. There needs to be a system involved to make certain that you're getting the argument right. But then there was this third point made by by one of the people on the task force. I always forget his name. He basically said, "Hold on, I don't condone what Kira is doing or what Light is doing, but look at the big picture." Because he talks about how violent crime was down like 60 or percent or something like that.
Well, I think he
in the last
simplified
episode.
it. He simplified it really quickly by saying, he goes, it makes our jobs easier.
Yeah.
It makes our life better. He's like, are you going to deny the good he's doing?
Exactly, and it's sort of the I don't condone, but we need to look at the bigger picture. So you had all three viewpoints in the manga and the anime, and they tease that concept in the movie, but it's never as expressly explored.
But they tease it because they're teasing it because at the end of the day, we're going to get a sequel. I'm fairly certain of that.
I would
Right.
like, though it's left open for a sequel.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
It's left
Yes.
open. There's no guarantee right now, but it's left
Actually,
open. Did they
Netflix is saying they want it.
Really?
The creators want it.
Okay, cool.
And I don't know if the director will be back, and that's what
The last I'd read was they were very interested in doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard they were actually really going to
they're
pick it
they're
up.
looking at pushing forward, but I don't think we get the director back because my God, shuts down his Twitter on the 6th of September because he's getting death threats over this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing that entire the genre of crossing over from an anime to a live action, that's a very risky business, and not just because it might not do well, because it might not translate from a cartoon to real life people, but the people who, for lack of a better term, worship the ideas and
Yeah.
the show itself. I mean, you can be really messing with their lives. Now, I don't condone any of it.
If
but
I have
that's,
to start worrying about movie fanatics.
no, they wouldn't be movie fanatics. They're anime
Or
fanatics.
anime fanatics.
This is entirely
Well,
different. I mean,
you know what?
I love anime. I'm just not a fanatic about it.
Entertainment
Fanatic.
fanatics, right? Because this certainly isn't
Well,
the only
we have
director
lives.
that's had that.
Yeah.
Right?
Minor ones.
No.
Minor lives.
I'm not going to say yes or no. It's a definite maybe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, that's my thing. Is
Mm-hmm.
like, first off, if you're sitting there being one of these jerks that's getting on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, and saying, you know what, I hope you die because you made this movie. You really got to get out a little bit more, or maybe not, or maybe you need to stay in that basement, board it up, and just not bother us again.
I wouldn't disagree. I think it's just as the internet has allowed us to release all of these negative emotions without any sense of
And it's full on anonymity.
Yeah,
And that's what it is.
It's the
Say-
destruction of civility.
That's right.
Say
don't
that
have
to somebody's face.
You don't have to face anybody
Yeah.
else.
Oh
You're
my
fine.
gosh.
I mean,
No consequences.
There's an old saying, people talk about the Wild West being, it's like, the Wild West was very relatively tame. The reason we know the name of all the gunfighters was because there was only a few of them.
Is it because you were old enough to live through it?
Bite me, fanboy. And yes, it's because I was there. No, that's the whole thing is people, you didn't live long pissing people off, right? It was,
Have you not driven this traffic in Dallas?
You can
That's
make
what
a
I'm saying.
name. Well, that we have modern medicine and
Yeah.
laws. I mean, the number one thing preventing murder is the law against murder. Take that away, and I mean, so
Yeah.
many people would murder. I'm just saying. I'm not,
and probably willfully so. But the point, but the point is, it's like an armed society. It's a polite society. But when you remove all that restraint on the internet, I think you have all these people running around being just
Oh, sorry, dude. An armed society is a polite society.
yeah.
Okay.
All right,
I'm gonna let it go.
I'm just saying.
All right. So what's the next thing on the agenda?
Well, let's just say, hold on, people. If you've heard all this bad stuff about Death Note, go just
see
watch
it.
it.
Don't-
Watch it.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It is good.
Enjoy
It is very good.
yourself.
Both the live action and the
And-
anime.
and the anime.
Don't
Yep.
forget, there's also the 2 or 3 movies from Japan that were
Yes.
live action prior to this one.
Exactly. If you
I have
want to
not-
see Japanese,
I
the
haven't
Japanese
seen
version
them yet,
yeah.
but I hear that they stick closer to even
do.
the manga than
Yes.
the anime did.
And like
so,
we said last episode, don't be afraid to get something with subtitles.
exactly.
oh, never.
Yeah.
Subtitles can lend so much more richness and depth to the
You got it.
entire
Yeah, because you
script.
understand really what the
Yeah.
people are coming from.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, while we're on the topic of the possible sequel for for Death Note, John Wick 3 has been confirmed for 2019. 2019.
Oh, nice.
But apparently it's going to come out between Avengers 4 and Aladdin.
2 weeks after Avengers 4, 1 week before the live action Aladdin. Guys, your best thing that you did for John Wick was release that bad boy during February.
When nothing else was
do
going
yourself
on.
a
Yeah.
favor. Get back into that.
Reschedule that.
Or go
Slot
in-
that somewhere else.
Get it
Yeah.
into March. You're going to make a great, I hope, what is a great end to an awesome trilogy.
Still
And
haven't
you-
seen the second one yet.
You got to see it.
I know. I need.
I'm not going to say
I haven't
anything
seen
about it, but you got to see
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah. Love the first one. It was very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Despite all the bad press that Keanu Reeves gets, I mean, I understand he is a one-dimensional anime character as far as his emotion and acting
Yeah.
goes.
Also with a spiky backpack.
Also,
But it was fantastic. The first one was great. I really enjoyed it. Not only did they set up the whole concept really well, his personality, his acting style, it works for that character so well.
More so than
It's
the
almost like
Matrix.
it's
more
almost
so
like they
than the
wrote
Matrix,
the
yeah.
part for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I mean, it's
really-
great. I'll be there. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And speaking of, we have some people thought maybe it was going to be Hellboy 3, but it's turning out to be a reboot. We have
Got
the first image.
image this week.
That image, dude.
Loved
that
it.
looks so good.
Who is it? David Harbour?
Yeah.
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things, the
And a
sheriff from
couple,
Stranger
I mean,
Things.
other random stuff.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, that looks really, really good.
That is amazing.
I was looking online
Yeah.
showing the comparisons to what we got from
Ron Perlman?
Ron Perlman's
Mhm.
Hellboy. And here's the thing. I'm not a huge Hellboy fan.
Neither
I'm
am I.
not.
Neither am I.
I know you
oh,
are,
I am.
Jason.
I remember them being comics at a friend's house that I would pick up and read.
Still have not finished Hellboy 2 because I kept falling asleep during that movie. And I know you hate me for it, Jason, and that's fine.
It was not as good as the first
It
one.
was not as good as the first one.
No,
equal good.
Yeah.
I mean, storyline equal fine. Was not as good as the first. But
It wasn't.
But you know,
Well, a lot of it, I think, it went very much in the Guillermo del Toro way. Like he strayed a little too far from Mignola's work.
from the source
Yeah.
material, and he really did put more of his own spin on. I still love his spin. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah,
fun. But yeah,
it's
you're right.
great.
It was a little harder to watch.
Yeah, and this is supposed to stick much closer to the books.
Yeah.
And the books really are very. I particularly love them with my love of cryptozoology, the paranormal, things like that. Mythology. It sticks. There's a lot of things that Mignola
Yeah, there
really
was.
brings into these characters.
Yeah.
And it's a very rich, very full, very complicated universe that he's made. And the thing that I love is everything has ramifications, right? In the Mignola verse, right? It's like if England is destroyed one day, it's not fixed the next day. It's gone.
Yeah.
And that changes how everything plays out in the stories.
Yeah,
So
there's
I'm
finality
really-
to it. That's
yeah.
good. Nope.
I agree.
What were you were getting onto your comparisons about the two that you liked and disliked?
You know, my thing is that looking back at it, the first Hellboy was sorry, Jason, it was watchable, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say I've watched it since.
Yep.
But the first one was watchable.
Yep.
But if you look at the comparisons of the costumes, it seems more like that first one was a little bit more far fetched. You see what he's looking like now, and it is very much more toned.
Well, what year
It's-
did Hellboy
Oh, it
release?
was early 2000s.
2004.
Yeah, so
maybe?
we're still looking at maybe a little bit of a tie into the
No, I'm-
Batman
no,
costumes.
I'm
with
just
how
saying.
it is.
I'm just saying, technology wise,
Yeah.
makeup and art department wise,
true.
you know what I mean. You're
true.
you're at least 10 years further down the line.
And granted,
So
at the time I was like, you know what, Pitch Perfect
Yeah.
looks like Hellboy. You know,
yeah,
This
it really
one-
does.
Yeah, it
They did a
does.
great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
I still
and this one is just a little bit more so.
I still have
yeah.
a place in my heart for Ron Perlman and his portrayal.
That's absolutely right.
When they brought him in, he was the perfect
Yep.
visage for that.
Yep.
He had the jawline. He had and
he
had-
already looked like him.
He already
Yeah.
he already
That's what you
looked
wanted
like
to say.
Hellboy.
He already looked like him.
So the makeup department's like, oh thank God.
Yeah,
We don't have to do so much
like,
to this
dude,
guy.
just-
He looks
just
great.
get red on him.
Yeah,
Screw
just paint
this.
him red and throw him out there. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah.
And he recently, what was it like? Well, I say recently, it was probably a couple of years ago where he actually dressed back up as Hellboy.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
he voiced the animated some animated versions of it that I
Yeah.
saw on Netflix. I don't remember what
Yeah.
they were, but I know he
Yep.
voiced some of that. So, but yeah,
Sword of Storms, and there was another one, I think.
Something like that.
that's right. I remember the Sword of Storms one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in Japan. Anyway,
So I gotta ask. I'm gonna switch topics. Are any of you guys watching the Blade Runner 2049 shorts that are coming out?
I saw the very first one that you guys talked about on the last show you did that prompted me to go find that. So thrilled.
There's another one coming out. With it, I think it's already out, and it's explaining some of the more background characters of it.
yeah,
but
I haven't seen it yet, but
the
it's
third
directed.
one, the third one coming up
Oh, the third one. Okay.
is an animated one.
That's right. I heard because they asked 3 different directors to do their own spin on
That's
3
right.
different things.
So I love it, but it's the director of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, really?
So it's going to be
wow. That is a
animated.
great.
So jazz.
If you
That
can-
was yeah.
You can find
Jazzed?
it online.
Really?
Jazz?
Jazzed?
Uh-huh.
You're going with that?
Show me
I
some
am.
jazz hands. That's how.
Nice tie
You know what?
into the,
I'm just
the
gonna go-
animated series with the jazz.
Yeah.
Thank
well
you.
played.
Thank you.
Well played.
I got nothing. I'm just gonna
3,
go to-
2, 1. Let's jam. That's it.
Man, I wish I had that Tanks theme right now.
Who amongst this group read The Boys from Garth Ennis? Ziggy,
I did not.
Jason. Okay. They have greenlit the first episode for Amazon.
Okay.
So same
Cool.
producers, Seth Rogen. Who is it? Seth Rogen,
Oh,
Goldberg, and
Yeah.
Mortz from Preacher on AMC. They're bringing us this. For those of you guys who don't know what The Boys is, basically this is the group that kept superheroes in line. And the first issue is horrible. Their main character, whose likeness is based off of Simon Pegg, opens up with it's a beautiful romantic scene. They're in an amusement park, and he's found the woman that he's loving forever, and a superhero fight occurs, and one of them knocks the other guy straight over to where they're at, and as they're spinning and twirling around in a circle and just feeling the love, the other guy goes straight through her, and he's left holding just her arms. And that's the introduction.
yeah, that's how
to
they
the
introduce
boys.
the main
That-
character.
that-
That's how they introduce them.
I mean, I understand that it's a book. It came pre, but it does remind me of the intro to the Tick and
Yeah.
in the latest iteration
The latest
from
right.
because Edlund has all the superheroes. I mean, it's fantastic. Anyways, I got you. That's
Same concept.
that's
So
a pretty serious. That's a pretty serious intro.
it
yeah.
is
Yeah.
very explicit in every possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this every time I saw that it was in some sort of production, I'm like, how are you going to translate it? It was a graphically violent, sexually explicit. Just really, I mean, they went over the.
It was over the
Ennis
top.
Went over his way to go over the top. I mean, the
Yeah.
entire universe, the entire concept here is, and I think it's because
Basic-
Ellis is a was
Ennis, not Ellis.
Ennis, sorry, Ennis he's a nihilist because I mean he looks at
I don't think he would see himself that way.
well, he may not, but he looks at superheroes and basically says that they are not to be trusted. They are going to be
Yeah.
just as, and he makes every superhero the most disgusting,
Yeah.
self-centered, selfish prick you could possibly find. And all of them are dirty. All of them are doing underhanded things. They're all having.
It's
They
absolute
basically-
power corrupts.
There you
Absolutely.
go. And that is what
Exactly.
Ennis does.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
that's what this book is about, is like, okay, we know we've got these guys, so what we've got to do is form, we have a task force,
right.
That's formed
They're the human. They're the
independently.
human
They're the
Suicide Squad, basically.
basically, and
Yeah.
they just sit there.
Well,
and,
I mean, not necessarily. Amanda Waller
Amanda
being the chick who's
And-
saying we're going to control these guys because if we don't have this,
and the other main character is very Amanda Waller-ish.
yeah, nice.
So it'll be interesting to see this.
Cool.
I'm
Very cool.
I don't know how it's going to play, but I'll
We'll
take a
see.
look.
Yeah, we'll
I'll take a
see.
look.
Guardians of Galaxy 2 just came out on
Blu-ray and DVD.
Blu-ray.
What was that, about a couple of weeks ago, I think,
Yeah.
is when it hit. And I love that. I still love that image. That's my favorite image. I think of that.
yeah, that is a good image. I
Yes.
like that one.
So one of the things that we were talking about is we always wanted to do a quick review. And then me and Sean got into not arguments. We both loved.
No, it was a discussion.
It was a discussion. We,
Oh, I love
we
the
both love the movie.
I love the movie. I just bought it the other day. It's on back order from wherever I picked. I got it from Amazon, so I mean it'll
Yeah.
be here in a few weeks or something. But yeah, I've got it on order. Yeah, love the first one. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think everyone can. I cannot find anything wrong with the first one.
The first one was so good. It was so effortless.
Mm-hmm.
It just took. It made you feel. I believe the entire thing.
Yeah.
While I was there, I mean, I believe the entire thing. The last time a movie has done that for me in that way was 1997 with Fifth Element. That's the last time
Yeah.
I can possibly compare that movie to at all.
It's a
that,
great
that was the last
comparison.
one. Which, by the way, is now 20 years old. If I'm right about that. Yeah, fun, isn't it? But if you get the chance to go see that still in the theater, it still plays so well. It's so good.
I have this version, and
So good.
I have the DVD, and I just recently upgraded to the Blu-ray, just because.
Oh,
I
so it's
love
like you
that.
get to see it every time in the theater in your
I
house
guess
then.
I
Yeah.
get to- well, does not. It does. Am I the only one with the theater in my house? It's not
actual
like
theater
it's
with
not,
the leather
it's
seating
not like
and
it
the
seats
projection.
400. It only seats.
Well,
like
no,
100.
because you don't want all the plebs to show up and spoil your
I'm just
afternoon.
saying,
you
man.
know,
That's why I got it, because I don't want
when
to
you're
be
laying
involved
back
with
in your
anyone
golden
else.
chair with your servants feeding
It
you grapes
is
and fanning you. No, I
silver,
totally understand
because
that.
I do not like gold.
Silver. Silver and gold. There you go.
The first one, I'll tell you what, I walked out of it, and I walked out of it feeling the way I wanted to feel after.
Oh, yeah.
After Star Wars Episode 1 was coming out.
Yeah.
When Star Wars Episode 1 came out, I wanted to feel like everyone did in 1977.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened.
No.
Not with Episode 1.
No.
Not with any of the episodes from 1 through 3.
1, 2, and 3 were all a mixed bag. The only good part about Episode 3 was it did give a little bit more of that
Yeah.
original feel. It had that better. It had more of that Empire feel.
I walked out of the first Guardians, though, and that's exactly what I
Yeah.
was taken away.
Oh, yeah.
I was brought to a new world, and I loved it. I loved
It was
everything
the magic,
about
the
this.
magic was
Loved
there
it.
again.
And that's how I wanted to feel. So we talk about Guardians 2. And this is where we got into our discussion. Because I feel that you nitpicked it more than I did.
I probably did. I really probably did.
I walked out of this one feeling just a smidge off as good as I felt coming off the first
Yep.
one. And that's not definitely not an insult to the movie
No.
or anything. I thought everything was great. One of your arguments is you just felt that there were scenes more forced. There was
Yeah, forced is exactly the word that I had. That's exactly what I said. That's what I used. When I left the theater, it wasn't that I felt good or bad about it, and that was my problem. It didn't swing me one way or the other. I left kind of going, I really still don't know how I feel about this. I enjoyed it. I was not disappointed that I saw it, but I couldn't really place my feelings at that point because it's, there were the little things that bothered me. I was tired. I don't like the little tiny baby Groot character the entire time, and I know.
How do you not like?
I know
this little
that.
baby Groot?
So the
man?
reason is this: it's fine to throw a little humor in every once in a while, but I didn't like the way they threw the humor in with Groot. The little baby Groot just felt like, okay, let's do some silly little silly anime, for lack of a better term.
So I thought about this, and I was thinking about what you said. So the other day, I'm looking online, and I'm like, what do we have? What was it that was going through the director's mind at the time? Was it just, hey, my God, did you see how much stuff we had to force on Baby Groot? Because now we can make money off of this, and this is why we're going to have Baby Groot in the second.
And
one.
I don't know if that's the way they went, but I hope
And it's not,
Yeah,
which I'm
okay.
glad to say that the
Right.
director's argument was like, no. He goes, we were trying to think of other areas to place it in, and this one just made the most sense for this movie.
And
I think you feel, and maybe justifiably so, right? Like I'm not going to try to change your opinion.
I can tell you why. I can tell you the main reason it does bother me. The reason I felt Baby Groot was out of character because he is an alien, and the entire time he was Baby Groot, it was like he was the last scene, right? Teenager, and he's He is acting the consummate teenager, the 16-year-old whose parent comes in and says, God, clean up your room. And he's like, meh. I did not necessarily enjoy the fact that they applied so many human qualities to him. Now, the argument that I also think about in that I've thought about since I guess we've probably had our discussion is that
argument.
Yeah.
is that
Lovers quarrel.
we should call it what it is.
Yeah.
Being raised around the humans, or at least being raised around more human quality characters, he'll probably adapt some of those and get those. But it's still, I don't like it when I feel like somebody relies on a crutch. I felt like Baby Groot in some instances was a crutch. It didn't have the same.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Spoilers. Go ahead.
What are you talking about? There's no crutch.
There was two crutches.
All right, so
I just meant this entire conversation.
good point. But you know what? It's on DVD. If you haven't seen it by yet, you should have seen it in the theaters. The deal is it's just what forced is the problem. It felt forced. There was so much. There was so many injected
I
lines.
can already feel
to,
Jason wanting to pounce on this.
You're picking it up right. I kind of agree with Sean on this one.
Oh my God, am I the only one on this table?
No, I still love the
here.
movie.
I think here's the thing. We all love the movie, and when we had discussed this, I had said there was something about it that really almost showed like a kink in the armor of Marvel as a whole, which is they do have this.
You don't think that was Doctor Strange?
No, I
Go
thought
ahead.
Doctor Strange was really enjoyable. I don't see what any of the problems was, except for the fact that do we really need another origin story?
See, that was my thing. I don't think Doctor Strange really requires an origin
Just
story.
bring this back to Guardians.
But let's talk about we'll talk about Strange here.
Guardians. That's
We'll talk
another
about Strange
show.
later. Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, for me, Guardians of the Galaxy, like I said, the Force. It's like they said, okay, this worked really well last time.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hey, Ziggy, I got that now.
By the way, Ziggy, just so you know, I have a timer, so I'm watching it.
Don't.
We have 10 minutes. By the way,
Don't make Ziggy feel bad about this. What's wrong
Ziggy,
with you?
you should feel terrible for doing your job.
Just say the word, Ziggy. We'll make
Ziggy,
it
this is
disappear.
the first time I've met you, and you're doing a fantastic job, sir.
I love you, Ziggy.
Anyway,
Hater of Ziggy, please continue.
thank you. Anyway, my point is just
He's gonna cry. It's gonna be all your fault.
Ziggy, don't cry. I love you.
All right.
Okay, go.
We have 10 minutes.
All right, whatever. Well, I felt like some, like you said, some of the things seemed forced, whereas they felt natural in the first one. And I think that stupid scene where they're doing the 700 jumps or whatever was, and they're all like,
I
was completely unnecessary. Now, okay, I love the idea
it's the equivalent of Spider-Man needing to dance a montage.
That is
there
not,
it is.
Okay, first off, no.
Thank you.
No, it is not.
Yes, it was.
Actually, I take that back. It doesn't go that far,
Thank
but
you.
but it's somewhere in between because you didn't necessarily need to convey the jump as being so silly.
Right.
Yes.
That's my thing.
It could have been a little more serious.
You probably could
while
have
still
said it.
injecting I mean,
Yeah.
it needs to be subtle, and I think the first Guardians was more subtle than Guardians 2.
Thank
Guardians 2 had some very overt humor, but while it was overt, if it was overt, it made it feel more forced because the first one was so subtle that you had to
That's
go,
true.
did I just, you catch it,
Yeah.
you know?
Jason Pollock painting.
And it's
I
like
get
those
it.
little things, they could have easily continued to do that. And I'm not harping on, look, I love the movie. I don't blame Gunn. I don't blame anybody for anything.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion and my experience. So I'd encourage everybody to still go see it and buy the movie and have
Well,
a good
you're
time
wrong.
watching it. Well, that's fine. Tell me why.
No.
Well, you know what? This
No,
is
here's the thing.
Have you not talked enough on this? You spent like the last 20 minutes talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm sorry. I did not go into the Old West to sit there and prove a point with Death Note.
Actually, an Old West planet in Guardians of the Galaxy. That could be
That would
kinda
be
fun.
nice.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Horses Revenge. Finish this up.
Wait, the what?
He said horses.
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 Okay.
Horses.
Horses. You,
Oh, okay.
you dirty, dirty thing.
Well, I mean, there was a scene in Guardians of the
Okay.
Galaxy 2 where it is a
You know,
All right,
we're
but you know,
moving, we're
one of-
moving on because you got our 4 questions this week.
Do
Don't you?
yes, I do. Do we need to do that
know,
right now, or do we
let's-
have time for one more thing?
You know
I
what?
think we have time for one more
guest,
thing.
You are a guest, please. I want you to have the last say on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ego was fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
Kurt Russell as Ego was just great.
was
The my favorite scene with Ego. It kind of. I mean, Ego's scene was broken up because they do
Yeah.
the little pieces of everybody. They keep jumping from character to character like a Tarantino film. But the scene with Ego where he's speaking with Quill and he says, try your powers, and he finally sees him and he's got this offspring that has these powers. His reaction of utter, you can see he's been waiting for a long time, and he just goes, yes, like he's so happy about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are you so, at the moment it struck me as being very odd, and I didn't understand why he was so happy about the situation. And when it reveals itself later, that's the other half of that favorite scene, is his immediate, he's been telling him, I'm your father this entire time. You're going to come live with me. I'm going to nurture you.
He's got that
We're going to be
connection
together.
now.
We're making
Yeah.
this connection.
Yep.
But once Quill realizes that the whole thing happened and he starts going after him, he's like, oh, come on. Like, immediately shuts off any type of parental loving nature and just
Yeah.
reverts back to this, please, really, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
when
a
that-
celestial being. You're,
And then goes full on psycho with him, and I was like, that was fantastic. That it happened so fast in the realm of things. Oop, as I hit my mic and move stuff
There you
around.
go.
yeah, you
But
got
that
a mic in front of you. Just
that
so you
was
know.
great. I loved that.
All right,
4
Ziggy,
questions.
Put the timer on the board, man. And I believe you have the questions this week.
I do. This is going to work a little differently for the both of you because each of you gets 2 questions since
All right.
it's a third me here asking you both.
Okay. I want to go first then because You're not going to get through to his questions or his answers.
You don't get to choose
Oh.
because I am the master of the questions. So you were just going to listen to
The
what I
master of the questions.
So 2 minutes on the clock. All right. First question is for you.
Yay!
What are your feelings on the bald marmot situation in Yellowstone National Park as described in a letter by Professor Judith S. Weiss?
Oh my God, I thought nobody would ask this question. Here's the thing. We've only got 2 minutes, so I'm just going to say I could feel a little bit better about it, but I don't.
Well said, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Jason, your next question.
Mm-hmm.
The Spice Girls.
Yes.
Where are they now?
The fact that they are not all chained to a bed somewhere.
Okay, you can stop right there because that's going to go dirty. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, sir, but we're going to have to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
Ray, coming back to you for your second question.
I don't know where they're at.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
176, but you got to bite the last one.
Well said.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jason,
Sir.
your final question. Mm-hmm. Finish this Google search with the most common search suggestion.
Okay.
Why do I?
Snore.
No, that's incorrect. The answer is have diarrhea.
Oh my gosh, which goes back to... Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Got it
Still,
in time.
51
53 seconds.
So I can explain where the Spice Girls should be. Does change to a bed?
No,
you
we're
don't.
sorry. The
We're
questions,
done.
the questions are over.
We're done.
Questions are
Oh,
over. Sorry.
on.
Unless you want a bonus question.
Okay,
Bonus question.
Yeah.
As we still have 37 seconds.
36 seconds. Make it
What
happen.
does the other 98% of 2% milk consist of?
Other.
All right. There you go.
Other. Here we go.
Those are your questions for today.
Oh, wow. That was the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to... poor
Did a
Marmosets.
little research, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
Did
I
a
like
little
that.
research.
It's not bad.
I see crumbles on this paper.
Yeah, so I like this. Siggy, we're down to what? The last 2 minutes of the show?
Yeah.
We're down to last minutes. We're feeding out.
Oh, nice.
Well
well
that.
played. Well played, sir. There you go. The homage to Cowboy Bebop there. As we...
Look at that.
Nice.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sean, thanks for being here, bud.
Thanks, guys.